meter run. In this race, we have Ian Delgado of Austin, Texas, Hunter Henderson of Topeka, Kansas, Liam Conway of Pottstown, Pennsylvania, Camille Jahid of Chester, Pennsylvania, Nick Miller of Wadsworth, Ohio, Parker Phillips of Plymouth, Minnesota, Oscar Tolentino of Grand Prairie, Texas, Jed Scratchard of Yardley, Pennsylvania, Yoel of Houston, Texas, Andrew Burgess of Salisbury, North Carolina, Dylan Miller of Overland Park, Kansas, Clayton Kasner, Legendary Track Elite, Texas, Micah Hilliard of Live Oak, Florida, Christopher Perdomo, Clemens, North Carolina, Ryan Heskin of Floral Park, New York, and Jonathan Johnson of Fort Washington, Maryland. Out front, that is Camille Jahid of Chester, Pennsylvania, our 800-meter champion this week. He was third in the 1500 as well. He is the top returner in this race. Coming up on 400 meters. 66 seconds at 400. That is Jahid, shadowed by number 13, Yoel of Houston, Texas. In third now, number 4, Liam Conway of Pottstown, Pennsylvania. 8th in this race last year. And in fourth, number 15, Dylan Miller of Overland Park, Kansas. Jahid continues to lead the field as we come up on 6 laps to go. Camille Jahid of Chester, Pennsylvania. Yoel of Houston, Texas. Liam Conway, Pottstown, Pennsylvania. And Dylan Miller, Overland Park, Kansas. Coming up on 800 meters. 13 young men in that front pack. 2:24 at 800 meters. Number 9, Parker Phillips of Plymouth, Minnesota. 8th in this week's steeplechase. So our steeplechase All-American edging ahead. Liam Conway now in second. Miller in third. Jahid in fourth. 3:02 at 1,000 meters. Now in fifth, wearing hip 22. That's Ryan Heskin of Floral Park, New York. Pack strings out just a little bit. Now in the third, that's Dylan Miller. Parker Phillips continues to lead the field. Liam Conway in second. Dylan Miller third. Ryan Heskin asserting himself now in fourth. Camille Jahid in fifth, now moving into fourth. A little bit of jockeying for position here. These young men trying to get a feel for each other's fitness as they come up the home stretch. Going to have 4 laps to go in our seated section. Section 4, 15 and 16-year-old boys, 3,000-meter run. Still Parker Phillips, running point for the pack. Dylan Miller making his way up in the second, sitting on Phillips' shoulder. As they make their way through the bend, we're coming up on the halfway mark, 1,500 meters. Pace is picked up. We're at 4:38 for 1,500. The race becoming considerably faster now. Phillips with the lead. 1,600 meters reached in 4:57. So it's Phillips, Conway, Miller, and Jaheed. Your front four on the home stretch with a chase pack led by hip number 3, Hunter Henderson of Topeka, Kansas. Dylan Miller, Overland Park, Kansas now on the rail and the slight lead. Coming up with 3 laps to go. Dylan Miller and Parker Phillips, followed by Camille Jaheed. Dylan Miller, Liam Conway, Camille Jaheed making their way up to 2,000 meters. I'll give you the unofficial split. 2,000 meters reached in 6:14. 2/3 of the way down, 2.5 laps to go. Dylan Miller still with a slight edge over Liam Conway and Camille Jaheed. A tight front pack of 3, followed by 4 pursuers. Again, still led by Hunter Henderson of Topeka, Kansas. On his outside, number 9, Parker Phillips. Looks like number 2, Ian Delgado. And that is Nick Miller, currently sitting in 7th. As they move down the back stretch, Dylan Miller trying to shake Liam Conway and Camille Jaheed. Conway now moving to the front. 600 meters to go in this race. Liam Conway of Pottstown, Pennsylvania, in front. As these 3 young men build their way up to the final lap, the bell lap. Liam Conway, Dylan Miller, Camille Jaheed. Bell lap reached in 8:07. 400 meters to go. 8:07 on the clock with 1 lap remaining. It's still Liam Conway over Dylan Miller and Camille Jaheed. All 3 young men moving through the bend at the top of the back stretch. Here we go. Conway, Miller, Jaheed. Conway with a little separation. Jaheed now moving into 2nd. Miller in 3rd. 200 meters to go for our leaders. Section 4, our final section and seated section. 15 and 16-year-old boys, 3,000-meter run. Conway. Jaheed now moving to the outside and to the front. Jaheed, our 800 champion this week, 3rd in the 1,500. Trying to add to his resume. And he will by taking the 3K. Camille Jaheed. Big finish. 64 seconds on his last lap. 9:12.78 for Camille Jaheed. Liam Conway, 9:15.24. Dylan Miller up for 3rd in 9:19.05. Camille Jaheed, 3rd in the 1,500. Now gold medalists in the 800 and the 3,000-meter run.